Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Most Excellent 80s Movies Podcast. Want to skip those ads and get early access? Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it. Hello and welcome to the Most Excellent 80s Movies Podcast. It's the podcast where a filmmaker, a comedian, and their fantastic guests get chased by sharks as we make our way through the 80s movies we think we love or might have missed with these our grown-up eyes to see how they hold up. And today we're talking about Never Say Never Again, the third movie in our Summer of Bond from 1983, about which Letterboxd says Sean Connery is James Bond 007. James Bond returns as the secret agent 007 to battle the evil organization Spectre. Bond must defeat Largo, who has stolen 2 automatic warheads for nuclear blackmail. But Bond has an ally in Largo's girlfriend, the willowy Domino, who falls for Bond and seeks revenge. Dun dun dun! Revenge! James Bond!
The willowy Domino.
The willowy Domino. I'm Chrissy Lenz, one of the directors and a performer at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater in downtown Mesa, Arizona.
And I'm Nathan Blackwell, a independent filmmaker, also based in Phoenix, Arizona, with Squishy Studios.
Yeah, and joining us today, once again, a fan favorite backed by popular demand, one of our favorites. He's a podcaster, he's an author, he's a crooner, we just learned.
A raconteur, no doubt.
Yes. It's the amazing Pete Wright.
Thank you so much, you guys. I'm so excited to never say never again with you today, right now.
I know.
Let's never say never again.
To set the stage, so this is our third out of 3 Bond films for the podcast, our Summer of Bond. But the neat thing about the 80s, because that's all we get, it's a show about the 80s, is that we get 3 different Bonds in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that's special about Never Say Never Again is that it's the return of Sean Connery in a technically unofficial James Bond film. I mean, it's literally James Bond. They had the rights.
Literally James Bond.
It's literally James Bond. It's just not part of the production company that did all the other James Bond films. So it's like a legally true, like if someone did a Godzilla film and they had the rights to do a Godzilla film, it's a Godzilla film in my mind, even though it's not part of the official, quote, canon of all the other Godzilla movies, you know? So,
I wish Godzilla was in this movie.
So I feel like I'm going to be a defender of this movie just against other James Bond purists. So I'm probably coming in with a little chip on my shoulder, only because this was one of my early Bond films, because it was probably cheap to air. And so they aired it a lot. And I ended up seeing, this was really my introduction to Sean Connery, and just one of the ones that was always more frequently on cable and things like that. So it's not one of my favorites, but it's one of my earliest, and it just kind of programmed me. And I mean, it is a James Bond film. I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Pete, what's your history with James Bond?
Oh my God. All right. So I started with Roger Moore. That was my early James Bond. I'm like Nathan. I discovered Sean Connery through this movie. Went back. My dad and I went back and did all of them as soon as they started becoming available on tape, and have seen every one of them. This was one of the characters where Dad would come in the morning and say, "Hey, I know it's a school day, but you're probably sick, right?" And I'd be like, yeah, Dad. He said, me too. And we would go to opening day to see James Bond.
Wow.
And so I wasn't until, and I loved the movies until I decided, you know what, I'm going to go read the books. And then I hated the movies because the movies are terrible adaptations of the books. And the books are problematic at best. Have you guys talked about the books?
Only a tiny bit.
Yeah, I've only read one or two of them.
Well, I've read them all.
I think that's code for one.
Okay. Yeah. I've read them all, and I just need to say, first and foremost, because other people who have read the books will say, Pete, why are you defending the books? Because Ian Fleming was a problematic person, and they have aged badly in ways that go so far beyond the product of its time, hand waving, right? Like these problems are not incidental to the book. They are, the racism is completely structural, right? Live and Let Die is built on caricatures of Black Americans and Caribbean, like voodoo panic, and the villains across the entire series are coded directly through ethnicity, and foreignness itself is always the threat in James Bond, like always the threat. And I mean, you look at this as a series. This is empire literature that was written explicitly when the British Empire was becoming irrelevant, right? So Bond becomes a fantasy of British potency at the exact moment that it doesn't matter on a global scale anymore. And I think that's one of the things that's fascinating and deeply personally uncomfortable as you read it. Now, that doesn't even go into the misogyny, right? The misogyny is, let me just say it, it's way worse than people remember. It's always worse than people remember, right? Like it's not just lightly coded rapiness. Like, he's really like I think there's actually a line in Casino Royale where Bond is musing to himself in the author's voice, saying he is celebrating the sweet tang of forcing himself on Vesper, right? It's just like gross. It's so gross. But then we get Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig is that James Bond. He's a guy who beats up people, regrets it, gets beaten up, feels it, isn't a quip factory like all the other James Bonds. So for me, like, James Bond is terrible as a filmmaking enterprise, and until you get to Daniel Craig, who becomes sort of the house-cleaned version of this character that I found I loved in the books because it transcended the era stuff. Now, where does that bring us to Never Say Never Again? Never Say Never Again is as close as we get to Daniel Craig's version of James Bond, but we get it in the 80s, in a period where this stupid litigation brings us the opportunity to have Sean Connery playing a more true James Bond. Like, he was washed up. This was the British Empire fantasy guy. And they realized in the book Thunderball, he goes to this clinic to have his free radicals expunged, right? Like, that's the James Bond. He's becoming closer and closer to irrelevance. And I find that really fascinating. And I kind of low-key love it. So it sheds all of the cartooniness, most of the cartooniness of the James Bond of the era, and gives me something more of the James Bond that I ended up finding in the books. So that's my history. That was a lot of words. I apologize.
It's all right. It's a 45-minute podcast. We got to pad it up. And yet we still get some gadgets like a motorcycle with rockets and a laser watch.
A laser. Thank God for the laser watch. Yeah, the exploding tip pen. I am new to James Bond, and so this is only my fourth James Bond movie I've ever seen, but I love the cartooniness. Like, that's what I'm here for, is the last one that we did. I can never remember their names. Their names are so many words.
We did The Living Daylights.
The Living Daylights. Okay. I love that he had a car that could cut another car in twain.
But it was bottom half and top half, unlike in the middle.
Top half. And I loved the laser beep boop. Like this one to me had the most direct correlations to Austin Powers.
Ouch.
Like there's
I felt like that was View to a Kill for me.
yes.
Oh yeah.
With the model of the thing that they were gonna do, and throwing the one guy who doesn't want to be a part of it out of a blimp. Yeah.
but of course, then you have Barbara Carrera in this one, and she does give Austin Powers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
He's being chased by sharks because there's a beepy thing on his air tank, and all these sharks are just like, get the beepy thing. We gotta get the beepy thing. And like, am I crazy? Those were real sharks chasing him.
Yeah, the fun fact I heard. So there was like real sharks, I believe, chasing him, and then they dive into a giant fall off of a castle with a horse into it, flipping end over end.
Yeah.
The fun fact of this movie, which is not super fun, is that this is the movie that made them put the ASPCA, no animals were harmed, in the making of this film. This movie didn't have that. This is the movie that made them put that on future films.
Yes, because it does look very much like they're hurting a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if they were doing it, but it looks pretty gnarly, pretty bad for them.
But it's so strange that it took so long to get to this point when we had the spaghetti westerns. There were the tripwires on horses that we had in the the hardcore westerns. Like this is a really benign movie in terms of animal treatment compared to what has come before, where they were literally killing animals to make movies. This is the movie that they land on is extraordinary to me. But
someone was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That horse did not enjoy that.
Right. That horse likes to swim on its own terms.
Surprise, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that cat is safe.
So yeah, it's an interesting mix because you're right. It does have both elements. And to kind of appreciate this movie, you have to realize that there is a competing James Bond movie that comes out 4 months apart from this movie. Which
Octopussy.
is
only because this movie missed its date. Remember, they were both scheduled to come out in the same year. This was going to be the year we had 2 Bond movies with different Bonds.
Yeah, which is
I
nuts.
love.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
and I liked Sean Connery as Bond, but
you've now seen what 4 James Bond films, each with a different Bond in them.
Each with a different Bond. I've never seen the same Bond twice. I liked him as James Bond, and I liked, as you said, Pete, that he's this sort of like washed up, because he, like all the James Bonds besides Timothy Dalton and Daniel Craig, seem so old, and it's like, yeah, they're like, need to get their free radicals out of there, because
it's all about the free radicals, you guys.
Yeah.
And let's just make it clear that 50 is not old. 50 is virile. Yeah, so it's interesting. So how did you, Chrissy, how did you feel about Sean Connery in this movie as James Bond compared to the other James Bonds?
I thought he was more serious. He didn't seem to me as like tough, which like I was really expecting Sean Connery to be tough, but he fully gets his ass handed to him a number of times
by Gigantor with a whippy spring tool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Pat Roach, who is the bad guy in Raiders of the Lost Ark, like the bald guy in the airplane fight.
Yeah, takes a face to the propeller.
And then he was also the big guy in Temple of Doom as well.
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, I loved him as like what are you? I'm just a big guy with a spring. I'm gonna kick your ass. And he gets defeated by urine thrown into his face. Boy, that was a lot of pee.
And heavily acidic. I don't think I'm not sure that was a believable point, but that seems weird to call out.
Yeah. Then they destroy the spa, and I did love, one of the things I love is when there are actual consequences to these big fights, and M is like, we had to pay for the spa, we had to buy them a whole new
We're
East
so
wing.
budget strapped. Yeah.
I loved that.
So okay, so so how else was Connery different than the other Bonds?
He certainly bone zoned more chicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that this is probably the least amount of people James Bond has killed in a movie, and probably the most bone zoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, which I was surprised by, because as we said with Timothy Dalton, the romance seemed like an afterthought to him. It was a tool that he used rather than a compulsion that he had. And this bone bond, that's what we'll call him, the bone bond. It seemed like a compulsion that he had, where he would meet a woman and be like, okay, so when are we gonna get down to business? Like, wherever
he didn't even
he
have
went.
to ask that question. It was just like non-stated consent with every woman he met. It was, look, he's on screen with another woman, and then cut to them in bed together.
Yeah, exactly. And so I thought that was a Bond cliche that it was missing up till now. We certainly got Bond with a lot of much younger women, which by now I feel desensitized to. But yeah, he's just throwing it around left and right in this one. I did find him charming, and I did find him likable, for the reason that he was like always so, well, I only got killed twice.
He was a lot more on his back foot than the other Bonds.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's exactly what I was trying to say, Nathan. Thank you.
Yeah. So this one's interesting. So again, to kind of look at what's different about Never Say Never Again, at this point we have Roger Moore, who is the more comedic, cartoony Bond, the pun Bond. And so it's interesting that this comes out with a different tone, a different style. It's both kind of retro in that it's Connery again, and it's a remake of so this is a remake of Thunderball, a previous James Bond film. So that was the legal loophole that they were able to make this independent film, is that Thunderball was co-written with Ian Fleming and another guy, and so this company, this guy only had the right to redo this movie.
Yes. Yeah. And the legal issue happened 10 years before. This movie got made like the minute after their 10-year statute of limitations was up on the intellectual property. So they were able to, after this lawsuit was a breach of copyright lawsuit between Kevin McClory and Ian Fleming. And once Fleming had admitted, I based the novel on these guys' scripts, because the script for Thunderball had been written before the movie had been written for Thunderball. And so Fleming said, I just wrote the book based on these scripts that this other guy had written. This other guy sued Fleming and said, you can't do that. That was part of my material, and won. So there was a 10-year moratorium on producing additional material. As soon as that was up, McClory produces goes ahead and makes this Never Say Never Again. And everybody was petty about it. There was no James Bond theme, right? John Barry was like, Octopussy, if you remember, Octopussy, heavy James Bond, ding, 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 ding. This movie, there's none of that because they weren't allowed to use it. But this movie introduced Spectre and Blofeld. Like, these are staples in James Bond canon. And this is where we get them, which is, I think, really interesting.
I was so curious about that. Like, I was like, oh, here he is. Here's the guy with the cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been waiting so long to see the guy with the cat. Yep. And then he just like gets away.
Yeah. Because he's the arch villain. He's the Skeletor.
Yes.
You know?
And this is why, in For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore drops an unnamed bald man with a cat down a smokestack. That's not a joke. That is like the legal workaround as a cold open for this movie to get rid of that character. That is the level of pettiness that they're dealing with.
Oh,
Mhm.
my
Yeah.
goodness. Well, Octopussy was like the number one movie of 1983, and this movie was not. So
It was successful,
It was
but it was
successful.
not as successful. Yeah.
mhm.
It was much more successful critically, and it wasn't that far off, right? Like,
Yeah.
so Octopussy was 187 million on a budget of 27.5. Never Say Never was 160 million opening on a budget of 36. It's not that far off.
Yeah.
160 to 187. More definitely, his Bond won the money, but critics absolutely said that Bond is canonically Sean Connery. That it
Mhm.
was he won the popularity vote by a wide margin. And it's really interesting when you look at how Roger Moore ended up in that movie, because he was already done. He had stepped down, and James Brolin apparently was already in line to be cast in Octopussy, which would have been earth-shaking
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
Brolin in there. But Connery, as soon as Connery's return was announced, Cubby Broccoli was like, "Oh my God, we can't put a Bond newbie head to head with the OG," and so they just backed a truck up to Roger Moore and said, "You got to do this movie,"
Mhm.
and that put Moore head to head with Connery. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I would love to see that happen to another franchise. Like, let's get another John Wick out there and see him go head to head with
right.
the other movies.
Yeah.
I would find that so interesting. Or it'd be like, oh, there's new Marvel movies because it's such a franchise that people will just go see no matter what, right? Looks like we've got a new Iron Man. It's Tom Cruise this time. Let's see which Iron Man does better.
He's too busy being Digger.
Yeah,
Jeez
what's
Louise.
that?
Nobody ever knows.
He's
We'll
getting
never
weird.
Yep.
I like. All right, that's the sidetrack. But I did love. Well, I really missed the music. I really missed it, and I thought that the music was so much better in A View to a Kill because it was so 80s,
know. Mm.
and I love 80s like synth jams, and in this one it was just like ding 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 ding. Boop, 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 boop.
This was also, though, like, this was also 80s in its own sort of elevator music way. Like
Okay.
it just wasn't Bond, and I think they were leaning on that. That's my assumption, because they couldn't get access to, any of the Barry stuff, so they had to do something objectively different. And honestly,
Mhm.
I think the music is something that dates the movie more than anything. And on
Mhm.
rewatching it last night, it just feels, it does feel dated. But I have to admit, I love the song. I ended up
Mhm.
learning
Yeah.
the song to play it. I
Uh-huh.
like playing it. It's got some fun jazz chords in it. Like, it's a weirdly attractive song to me. But we don't get the opening with the sight, like the James
Yeah.
Bond walk and the shooting the pistol at
Mhm.
camera. That we don't get that. That was part of the deal.
Mhm.
I did
Mhm.
notice that and I missed it. And what we do get instead is like a screen of 007s. And I was like,
Mhm.
what is this? I want the other thing.
Yeah.
So,
Go
so
ahead.
this one, because it's got to compete. I feel like, I mean, again, like, it doesn't feel like a knockoff movie. I mean, they kick serious ass with the casting, and I think
Mhm.
this is so. Sean Connery was more involved with this one. That was one of his beefs with the Broccolis, is that he was, he felt like when it was a big hit, he was underpaid, and that they didn't really listen to any of his input. And so he
Mhm.
had a little more input this time around. And one of them was basically trying to cast the film with a greater selection of actors. And I felt
Mhm.
like, I mean, we've got Max von Sydow as Blofeld.
Mhm.
4
Which-
minutes of iconery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he's one of my favorite Blofelds. Like,
Yeah.
he is so perfectly cast in this.
Yeah.
No shade on Donald Pleasance.
But Klaus Maria Brandauer as Largo,
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. He's
He
goofy
is,
and
he's so
maniacal.
goofy, but yet so maniacal
Yeah.
and so it feels like he can just snap and be completely petty and lethal.
Yep.
Yeah. I did think the part where they play that video game was dorky. I was like,
I admit,
thought
though,
it
I was
dorky.
deeply into it when I was of
Yeah.
age. Watching this movie in the theater, I was like,
I mean, for
video
80
game.
I mean, for 83,
Yeah,
like this is the most advanced and realistic relative video game that I'd seen in a movie at this point.
yes.
And where is the technology? Because people would play a game that hurts them now. Like,
Yeah.
you know that people would play a game that, like,
where is this
actively
game?
hurts you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but I was like, the big casino moment is going to be a video game? Okay.
I was down for it. And I think, Barbara Carrera, again, is Fatima Balash.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gets-
she's so good.
She's
She's
so good.
really good.
And apparently she was up for Octopussy and turned it down and took this one instead to play opposite Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
everyone was
Historically,
like-
I
I think
think
it was
that's
a
a good move.
I think so
Yeah.
too. I think so too. You
Uh,
know?
So,
And
Bernie
then Rowan
Casey,
Atkinson as the fumbling
film debut.
contact. Like, come on. Come on.
I loved him so much. He was so adorable, and I just wanted to keep him safe.
Yeah, it reminds me of my brother Logan.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to
Uh-huh.
Logan.
Shout
The
out to
brilliant
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah,
Who can be seen in the last movie ever made, playing a brilliant
As
role.
Conrad. Yeah. Oh my God.
I liked Bernie Casey as Felix Leiter. I think Felix is a standing character across the entire series, and I think he's a good one. I like how he gets really bummed when he doesn't get sucked into the super
Yeah.
yacht, and he
I
he
love that
stands up
part.
on the rocky shore and slaps the water a few times.
Uh-huh.
It just feels real CIA kind of pettiness.
Mhm.
Edward Fox as M is a great M because he seems like the burnout diplomat. Like he's like, I don't trust the old ways. I don't like double O's. I believe that a guy like that is going to be in that position. There was nothing in here that felt, completely absurd to me. Alec McGowan is Q. I think that was just the right level of lampooning spy stuff. Like they always do the Q walkthrough in Q Garage. And I thought it was great. I think it's great. He was just goofy enough at talking about all the stuff that Bond accidentally sets off. It worked. It worked.
Yeah, and he just wants air conditioning. Like he's like, if the CIA makes me an offer, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
There is an interesting thing in this movie that we don't get that we do get in every other Bond movie. And I wonder if this was another thing. I couldn't find if this was another thing. We don't get a car.
Yeah.
Right? There's no Aston Martin. There's no BMW. He gets a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Does that lessen, like the big dramatic reveal is he pulls the strap on the styrofoam case and it opens up. Is that Bond drama enough?
I wanted more. I love a car, and that's one of the things that I complained about in A View to a Kill was that there was no beautiful fancy car. He does pull up in a Bentley when he goes to the spa, so there's one beautiful car, but like I wanted more. I like the motorcycle.
It was like a ninja looking motorcycle from like the 80s, so definitely it was definitely cool. I dug it, but
I dug it too, but I miss the car.
I miss the car too. There's a certain lack of elegance, and in some ways, I guess you could make the case that my earlier point, the Bond of the books would probably ride a bike before he would drive a fancy car. But the movies had I'm a car guy. I love the cars most, and so I did miss that. I like bikes with bumpers though. That's fun.
Yeah, that's super fun. It was like Hagrid's motorbike. And I did like that he had a watch that had freaking laser beams in it. and it just like perfectly shaved through the when you're like, how's Bond gonna get out of this one? Well, he's got the laser watch. They
got a
didn't
laser
take his watch. They
Yeah.
were like, leave the man his watch. Let him know what time it is. Like,
Time to die, Mr. Bond.
yes.
I like that. I also, the handoff of the watch was something I noted this time that I haven't really ever thought about before, because I know, like, in the era of smartwatches, people who have their analog watches tend to take them very seriously. Like, their timepieces are very core to their identity. And in this movie, Bond walks in, takes off his fine timepiece, and just hands it to Q and takes this other laser watch. So it was an interesting sort of, this thing that I'm wearing on my wrist is disposable, and I'll just wear whatever comes next. I don't know if that's a character beat that I necessarily believed in this movie. And it was a weird thing for me to latch onto and totally hyper-focus on. I couldn't let it go.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect. Latch on, hyper focus. That's what we're about here at the Most Excellent 80s Movies.
It's all I know how to do, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I latched onto the shark chase because I was like, this is where the Austin Powers things come from. Like, I would just want sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads. That came from this. It had to have. Right?
I think so.
This is not the first shark to appear.
Right.
There is, now, which one I'm forgetting. It's got to be, it's an older one, but there is like a shark pond, an indoor shark pond in one of them, isn't there?
But wasn't it another Roger Moore?
That sounds familiar. Was it Live and Let Die? Question mark? Yeah, it's hard to know at this point. But
do some real-time research.
I would say this is not the first shark appearance.
I'm doing real-time research here.
Oh, okay.
We're
going to
ask
I'll let you do
the
it.
internet and find out what happens.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. Jeeves is not answering me right now. But I do think that's right. But the undersea ones...
yeah, so it's been a long time since I've seen Thunderball, but if memory serves, there was a lot of really long underwater fights in Thunderball.
Yes.
Like
there were a lot of really long underwater fights in this.
It was
not,
Thunderball. You're
not
totally
in
right.
comparison.
No, you're absolutely right. Largo keeps a pool of sharks at Palmyra, and Bond swims through it in a sequence where Connery was far closer to live sharks than he'd ever been promised, apparently. That's what I'm getting here. That the plexiglass partition protecting him came up way too short. And he panics in one shot that is apparently real. It's been a long time since I watched Thunderball, but now I really want to. Bond and Solitaire get winched over Kananga's shark pool in Live and Let Die. Spy Who Loved Me, Stromberg drops his secretary down a shark chute. And the henchman is literally named Jaws in honor of Spielberg's blockbuster. Moonraker gets an honorable mention because Jaws is in it. I think we're finding sharks mentioned and Jaws. And yes, For Your Eyes Only, Christatos drags Bond and Melina behind his boat over razor coral to chum the water for sharks.
Nice.
That's awful. And of course, Never Say Never. And License to Kill, again, we get another one with what the internet is calling the darkest shark material in the franchise. Felix is lowered into a shark tank and maimed with the note, he disagreed with something that ate him.
Oh, he disagreed with something that ate him.
Yes. Yeah, that's pretty dark, which is pulled from the novel. So there are a lot of sharks.
Okay, I'm glad to know that. Perhaps I will return to Bond again because I need those sharks.
Yeah.
I love it. I love a shark movie. I love a shark running things and seemingly sentient. And I love how dedicated the shark was to get that beepy thing in this. I was like, yeah, shark.
That's the I would actually suggest that given all of these, as my memory comes back of all these movies, I think that this is probably the most realistic portrayal of sharks in the Bond movies. The rest of them are used as like in tanks that the villains are so villainous that they actually keep
like a
sharks
piranha
as
tank.
pets. Yeah, exactly. specifically to maim their
And
antagonist.
there's just not a lot of like shark to water ratio in most of these
Yeah.
really to be healthy.
Yeah.
No, those sharks are not
No.
having a good time.
No,
That's
this
why
one-
they're ready to eat people. They're
Yeah.
so upset.
People are the treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what did you think of Kim Basinger as the Bond girl in this one?
I liked her. I thought I loved her dancing. I loved that she loved the bad guy at first. I loved how her journey of like realizing he was super psycho.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, so he gives her the necklace that has the location of the other warhead on it. Like if he had just not done that, they would have never found him.
It's true. It's true.
Like Max von Sydow was like, nothing can stop us now unless my number one henchman gave a necklace with the location of the second bomb to his ex-girlfriend. That's the only thing that can stop us now. But I wanted to be privy to her negotiating with the double O's or the CIAs or whoever it is at the end to be like, how about I kill him with a harpoon gun? How about I get down in there, me, a civilian who
with my mermaid hair,
and just get down there and I kill him with a harpoon gun. Is that good with everybody? Is everybody cool with that? And they were all just like, yeah, that sounds great. Super safe.
I like every bit of it. I was totally okay with it. With everything. She's very flexible. And after seeing this movie, watching any other Kim Basinger movie, I'm like, you know what? She can also dance. Like, I did not know that she could also dance. And so I thought she was great. She pulls off the sort of Bond ingenue thing pretty well. I think she maybe second to Barbara Carrera understood what movie she was in. Right.
Yeah.
And knowing that she's totally capable of doing doing some really sophisticated performance work, she also understood how to be the Bond ingenue, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a confused Kim Basinger.
Yes.
I think
you're totally right.
I think she's so great. I love it. Reminded me of Batman, where she's always just like, huh? What? Huh?
Wow. Yeah.
I loved it. And I thought, and of course she's so freaking beautiful that it's just fun to watch her. What did you think of her, Nathan?
Yes, it was fun to watch her.
Yeah.
so I feel like one of the things that works with her and also works with a lot of the people, a lot of the actors in this film is, and I don't know if I think it's part to do with Connery wanting the characters to be more human, part with the director Irvin Kershner, who directed Empire Strikes Back, to want people to be more human, to be adults. This is basically a little less action figure and a little more, these are adults in these very James Bondy situations. There's still James Bondy situations, but these are adults. Like Kim Basinger apparently had never seen a James Bond film before being in this film. And so, but she still knew the assignment, but they're still reacting as adults.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Well, and let's not remember, I mean, first of all, speaking of Kim Basinger, like it took another 14 years, but eventually she won her Oscar for performance in LA Confidential, which was extraordinary. What a fantastic movie that was. But Connery, the experience of Connery in this movie, I think arguably this is why he had his 80s renaissance, right? We talked about The Untouchables and then The Last Crusade. Like those movies reminded people that Sean Connery is a movie star and he can pull off some cool stuff as an aging actor. And I mean, he was only in his 50s at this point, right?
Which
again, let's remember
is young and virile.
Old.
It's not old. Not even close. 50 is the new 25.
Or at least 30.
Wearing 30's knees. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I also loved, just to add some more like goofy stuff that's in this movie that I latched onto. They get shot out of missiles and end up in jetpacks.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't it Thunderball that also introduced the jetpack? Is that in the opening sequence? I think that was the one that
sounds
had the jetpack.
familiar. Yeah.
So this was, I think the missile jetpacks were an homage. They're missiles. They're missiles being shot out of a submarine, and they're standing up on the head of those missiles. That's outstanding physical prowess to be able to maintain standing up in those things. But I do think that was that. I read it as played for comedy because people remember jetpacks in that first movie. So I don't know.
And I love a jetpack. I think it's really great. And I not knowing anything about the history was like all for it. I was like, yeah, jetpack those boys, shoot them in a missile. Like that's what they're here for. And I absolutely adored that the extortion video, or like the ransom video that Spectre sends to NATO, was just the cat. It was like the first cat video, and like the cat even reacts like with big eyes, like bum bum bum.
See,
the
like
cat was part of
may
it.
be the most Austin Powers connection we've mentioned yet.
That was what I thought, and I was like, "Yeah, this is brilliant. I love it. It's the proto cat video that would take the internet by storm."
Absolutely.
I loved those parts, and I think that's like, he does at one point leave a gun in a champagne bucket, and I'm like, that's so irresponsible. The gun that he
there's no children at that event,
but there are probably a lot of evildoers who would love to have a gun.
A lot of drunk evildoers too.
Right.
I thought that was crazy, and I thought it was crazy that Fatima Bush was going to literally shoot him in the dick.
Blush.
Fatima Blush.
Are you sure?
Well, I'll have to check again.
Yeah. She was going to shoot him in the dick.
Yep.
Yep. And I was like, yeah, girl.
She'd be petty like that.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it.
That's one of my favorite sequences in any Bond film, when she makes him write out a contract to discuss how good she was sexually, is outstanding to me. Like she's again understood the movie.
Yeah. And it was just an excuse for him to use his exploding pointy pen.
Yeah. This movie calls its shots pretty well. I mean, Bond movies in general call their gear shots pretty well, but this one was pretty great. Like, I'm going to need you to write out a sex contract is maybe the most on the nose.
All right. So Chrissy, I'm curious, as this is the wrap up of our summer of Bond. So what are the 4 James Bond films that you've seen?
I've seen the Skyfall.
Okay.
With Daniel Craig.
Gotcha.
I've seen A View to a Kill. With Roger Moore, right?
Right.
I've seen
was it
the one I can't remember the name of?
Living Daylights, right?
The Living Daylights with Timothy
Dalton. First Timothy Dalton.
And I've seen Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery.
Okay, so which is your favorite of all those 4 Bonds? What's your favorite Bond?
I think I have to go with Timothy Dalton.
Wow. Interesting.
I thought he was the most charming. And the most, like, believably stoic.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just what my gut is saying.
He was, more than all of them, he was a professional spy.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree that's with that. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay, so favorite Bond villain. It can be the main bad guy, or it can be a female henchman. Who is your favorite Bond villain?
You know the answer to this. It's Grace Jones.
I knew that was coming.
She is magnetic. and I didn't think I liked A View to a Kill when we first saw it, but now that I've seen these other two, I do find it more appealing. Now looking back with kinder eyes, the blimp work alone.
It's true. It's true.
But Grace Jones is just not to be missed.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Although I love Blofeld with the cat. Like, I wanted more.
Oh yeah. So absolutely. All right, and then finally, who's your favorite Bond lady?
Kim Basinger, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was my favorite. She seemed like she had some real agency. She killed the guy with the harpoon.
Yeah, she was way better. I felt like she was definitely better than Living Daylights. The cello player. Like, she was always
that cello player
and angry
did
and
not
naive,
know what was happening.
Yeah, and then also better than View to a Kill.
The girl who gets scooped up by a blimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, great blimp work in that film.
So top-notch blimp work.
Yeah.
So
to sneak up on someone like that, oh my gosh.
Which brings us to, on a scale of one shark with a freaking laser beam attached to its head to 10 sharks, how many sharks do we give Never Say Never Again?
You know, I'll tell you, just because of my stance on James, the films of the James's Bonds, I think this one, I really enjoy this one, but all of them have so fallen in my personal ranking since the last 5 Daniel Craig movies.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll give this one 6 sharks with a friggin' laser beam on its head, and it's right down the middle for me. Like, it's just right. It's just right there. It's good. It's different from what I was getting, and in my memory, it actually holds up much better than I expected. I was nervous. Like, I raised my hand for this show months ago, and I've been low key dreading watching this movie because what if I was wrong? It was actually it held up for me. There was joy watching this movie again.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I was also dreading watching this movie. I think they're all too long.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all about 15 minutes too long.
Yeah.
But seriously, Chrissy, I know it falls outside of the 80s, and movies outside the 80s low-key don't exist around here, but you've got to watch at least the opening 15 to 20 minutes of the updated Casino Royale, because that gives you a sense of who this character is, right? Yeah. He's a thug. He is a bruiser. And the foot chase is extraordinary. It is an extraordinary feat of filmmaking.
I think it's the best James Bond movie.
Yeah.
I love a foot chase. I love a thug and a bruiser. So I'll give it a shot. I'll make Rocket watch it with me. He was not willing to watch any of the James Bond movies with me, but he kept coming in and being like, "Is this movie still on?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yes, I told you it's too long. Yep. It's not my fault.
Long. It's not my fault. Yeah. He just now got in a jetpack.
It took too long for the jetpack.
Yeah. I love it. How many do you give it, Nathan?
So again, it's weird. I'm so ardent in my defense of this film, but it's not. I wouldn't put it in my top 5 James Bond films. I think I'm gonna go with 7 sharks. To where it definitely has a sentimental spot for me. This one in particular. It helped write some of the code in my DNA in terms of what is a Bond film, and also Sean Connery as well. So I have I have a soft spot for sure in this one. It is probably 15 minutes too long, but I think everyone did an awesome job. To me, I'm a big defender of this one being a James Bond film and not, being out of canon and disregarded like a lot of purists.
It's such a weird stepchild too now, because MGM bought the rights to it well after the fact. So now it's kind of in the collection when you go to Amazon and look for James Bond, but you can tell it's like in the family plot, but one grave right on the outside.
Yeah.
It's on
not
the
great.
other side past
Yeah.
the sidewalk. You
It
know,
definitely doesn't get the unified cover theme like they do on the
doesn't, yeah.
boxes.
No.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I was nervous to watch it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this one's not like the others. But I'm gonna go like straight down the middle of you two and give it 6.5 sharks. One of the sharks has been sliced in half with a car laser.
Down the middle.
Down top to bottom. Yeah, vertically.
Yep. And now you can't use the no animals were harmed in this
I
making
can't.
of this review.
I can't claim it. Yep. Because I thought it was good, but I thought it was too long, and I wished it was a little bit more. I wanted more Goofy. There was still sprinklings of Goofy, but I love the goof. I love the Austin Powers-y-ness. I wanted more of the cat. I wanted more of Spectre. Yeah. I wanted more of that just group of well-dressed people who were like, yay, too evil.
It's really interesting just as a coda, like because MGM bought the rights to Never Say Never Again, Daniel Craig gets a lovely Spectre resurgence in the last set of movies that we hadn't seen for a lot of years. And it's really great. It's really fun. Yeah. And the Blofeld in that movie doesn't wear socks with his penny loafers. And I'm telling you, that's a thing people can fight about.
Yes. That's them's fighting words. Absolutely. What about a deep cut recommendation, Pete? What do you got? Mine's not very good.
Oh no.
What's yours?
I think hold on. Go Nathan, go first.
So I'm suffering from a problem that I've had. This is good that you can't come up with something, because my recommendations on the last two James Bond films were literally identical both times with our previous guests.
Yeah.
The first one was James Bonding the podcast. The second one was the International Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. So this one, I'm basically playing safe and picking something that no one else would pick, which is my own James Bond homage film that I made in school. So in 2007, at Scottsdale Community College, this is the project that I first worked with my longtime actor collaborator Adam Reaney on. Mm-hmm. But we did a 7-minute James Bond homage film called Until the End of Everything as kind of like my advanced film there. And the whole gag is that it's a choose your own adventure where the audience is supposed to pick what happens to the character, and they always pick the thing that is worst for the character. So basically they are torturing him on screen. There are some things that, like a classic Bond film, no longer hold up very well. Things that I thought would be funny or get a laugh that I wouldn't put in nowadays. But that makes it maybe more of a James Bond film. But it played very well with an audience, because it promotes audience interactivity. Like, you're supposed to yell out your answer. So it was a lot of fun taking that movie. But you can find that around the film festivals, but you can find that on Squishy Studios, either on our website or on the Squishy Studios YouTube, Until the End of Everything.
I love it. You were spot on to choose that one, Nathan. Funnily enough, I was going to choose that. I've been all through your back catalog. That's what I was going to choose.
I'm sorry. But the interesting thing is that I just wanted to do a 1960s era spy movie. Mm-hmm. And it was that movie that made me do research that really kind of made me watch all the James Bond films, because I had just casually seen them.
Speaking of research, I have a fun fact, which I forgot to give us. Apparently, Steven Seagal was the martial arts
consultant
on this movie. Our next movie after this is Steven Seagal's Above the Law. So I just wanted to throw out
Direct
that
connection.
Uh-huh.
That's
Oh my
outstanding.
gosh.
All right, did you come up with one, Pete?
Yeah, I found it. So this is a movie that was made the year before, and it's, I don't know, maybe you've talked about it. It's called Wrong is Right from Richard Brooks, director.
Never even heard of it.
Okay. So the year before, Never Say Never, Sean Connery is in this movie about 2 stolen suitcase nukes and Middle Eastern terrorism.
Mhm.
Except he's not a spy. He is a superstar celebrity cable news reporter. And he ends up chasing these bombs through CIA plots and arms dealers and all this stuff. And remember, Richard Brooks made In Cold Blood and Elmer Gantry. And so he did this. This is a movie. It's like a pitch black satire of TV news. And it was terrible. I mean, flopped catastrophically. Like it was a really big flop. And so the studio ended up retitling it. I think it's called in the US or in the UK, The Man with the Deadly Lens. But it was they really tried to sell this as a Sean Connery Bond comeback the year before the actual Sean Connery Bond comeback. And I think that's a really fascinating thing. It is, I mean, it's not good, but given this conversation, you should totally find it because it's really worth it. I mean, it is a murderer's row cast. Leslie Nielsen is in it, Dean Stockwell, Catherine Ross, Henry Silva. This is a cast of 80s favorites. So I think you should definitely check it out.
I love it. All right.
Wrong is right.
Great. Wrong is right. I'll put that on the list of things to check out. We were really afraid of people stealing 2 nukes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 2 nukes was the line.
You can stop one, but 2.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep. You need 2 people to stop 2 nukes, but not in this movie.
Nope. Okay, so mine is really lame because I couldn't come up with anything good, and you actually already mentioned it, Pete, but I had just watched LA Confidential and loved Kim Basinger so much in it, and Rocket actually, my 15-year-old did watch that with me and loved it and is weirdly obsessed with Guy Pearce now.
He's
judgment.
Getting tattoos all over his body now.
Yeah. He used to have a thing for Ryan Gosling movies, and now he's like, what else is Guy Pearce in? And I'm like, Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Because we already watched Memento. Yeah. So I want to recommend LA Confidential. It holds up. It's a good movie. It's, in spite of the Kevin Spaciness of it all, he may be a monster, but he is a wonderful actor. It's really too bad that he's a monster.
Too bad for humanity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Totally get it.
Yeah, he's so good. And it's great. So I recommend LA Confidential to get a little more Kim Basinger in your life.
Excellent.
All right. So we've reached that moment of the podcast where it's time to plug away. Pete, you've got a million things to plug. What would you like to plug today?
Well, it's been a busy season. Of course, there's all the podcasts. We do the movie podcast, the Next Reel. You can find all of that stuff. But really, I would love it if people would check out my new book. It's called On Set. It is book 1 of a new trilogy. It just released a couple of days ago as we record this. And it is my first full-length novel. And it's very exciting that it's out there. And I can tell you with some enthusiasm that my aunt could not put it down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Aunt Mimi says, keep writing this series. So I think there will be more from the Manifest series. It's a YA, sort of dark YA thriller crossover book, and I hope you will check it out. On Set. Available where books are sold. This one might be for you.
Very cool.
I will check it out for sure. I love that. Thank you for that plug. Nathan, where can people find your filmmaking? Where can they go to give you money?
SquishyStudios.com, Squishy Studios on YouTube. And if you're in the Phoenix metro area, I'm teaching pre-production for film next semester at Glendale Community College. We have 3 spots left available if you're interested.
Oh, I am
Wow.
interested.
Thursdays,
Clock is
10 a.m. to 12:30.
Pre-production. That's the
Yes.
heavy lifting.
It's important stuff. It's not adventures in spreadsheets. It's basically learning how to shoot a movie with, like a 10-person crew, and planning beforehand, rather than just showing up with your friends and making something. So I pitch it as you're going to be raising your game now. You're not just making a movie by yourself. You're making it with a crew. You're going to rewrite your script. You're going to figure out locations and shots beforehand. You're going to include other people and collaborate in the process and try to create something with a little more effort.
I love it.
Oh my God, that's so hard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it really
and then
is.
you just got to keep doing it.
Yep.
Keep doing it over and over again. But it is a little bit of an adventure in spreadsheets.
Yes,
there are
spreadsheets involved.
Yeah. You could also listen to me on Gank That Drank, a supernatural drinking game podcast, also a product of True Story FM. And if you are here with us at the end, it's because you want more. You want more, Nathan, Chrissy, and Pete. You want to hear what we have to say in our bonus selection, which for today, your question is going to be, what stunt that James Bond did in this movie, or what James Bond stunt would you like to try in real life? That's our bonus content question for today. And it doesn't have to be one that James Bond did. It can be one that someone else did in this movie or in any James Bond movie. And if you want to know the answer to that, you need to become a member. Go to truestory.fm, click on our little podcast, click on the little join button, and you not only get this sweet, sweet bonus content, you get episodes a week early and ad free. It's totally worth it. If you want to support the pod without spending any money, it's totally possible to do that. Like, rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell some sharks that are chasing you to listen to the pod. And when you're out there in the world, please keep the most excellent 80s movies podcast motto in mind. Be excellent to each other and party on, dude.